In this video, we're going to look at a KDP medium content book niche that you may not have come across before. It's the Spot the Difference niche. Now, this niche is interesting because one, the books are relatively easy to create because the interiors don't require any specific or major artistic skills. They sell very well, and there's lots of interesting, very low competition sub-niches within this overall niche. So if you are looking for ideas and inspirations on what books to create to publish on Amazon, then follow along as we investigate this further. Now, if you've not been to this channel before, then welcome. My name's Paul Marles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it and grow it. And that's your money I'm talking about. If you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell. So in this video, what we're going to do is take a look at the niche first of all, show you the steps that I go through when I'm doing my niche research so you can use the same steps yourself when investigating a niche. We're going to look at those all important keywords essential for getting your book seen and found on Amazon. And we're also going to look at these low competition sub-niches as well. And then we're going to look at the interior of these books. I'm going to give you some useful resources and suggestions on how to create these books. And I'm also going to show you where to get some free royalty-free images, and particularly for one sub-niche that I will tell you about later on in this video. Now, what are these books? Well, they are Spot the Difference books. It's where you have two seemingly identical images, but with subtle differences. And the idea is you find those differences and mark them on the pages. And these books are ideal for both adults and kids, and there are some interesting sub-niches with very low competition. So let's get onto the niche research first of all. So when I'm doing my research, I first go along to Amazon and put in the main or root keyword into the search bar. And what I want to know is, are there any sales being made in this niche? And the way we do this is to look at the bestsellers rank. The lower, the better. The lower this number, the more books are being sold. So I've got a plugin installed here called DS Amazon Quick View. And what this does is it places the bestsellers ranks below the listing on the search pages. Now, I have a simple rule, and that is I look for 3 or more books on the first page with bestsellers ranks of less than 300,000. Why? Well, this tells me that there are sales being made in this particular niche. Now, it may not be a great number of sales if these books have bestsellers ranks of 300,000, maybe 10, 15 books a month, maybe slightly less. However, what you've got to think about is once a book is published and it sits on Amazon, if it is ranking and you are making sales, then those sales can come in month after month, year after year. So say 10 sales a month can equate to 120 sales a year. So that starts to look good when you consider the amount of work you've put in the initial phase of creating the book. So it's a recurring income. So if we look here and just scroll down, we can see we don't even have to get past the second line of search results to see that this fulfills the criteria already. Now, the next thing we can do, and this is purely really out of interest, is look at the income these books are making. We can take the best-selling book first of all, and we've got this one here. It's not a KDP book, but it has the bestsellers rank of 7,111, and this will just give us a guide on what the sort of maximum potential we can achieve in this niche. So if we take that figure, go along to our book sales calculator at tckpublishing.com, we can see that this book is selling between 495 to 990 books per month. Now, in terms of profit per book, if we were to say this was a KDP book with around 120 pages, selling for $9.99 with a color interior, it would be making around 82 cents per book. Now, the other way we can look at income is to work out the average bestsellers rank on the first page of search results. And I do this with a free Helium 10 plugin, and it will tell us the average bestsellers rank for each book on that first page of results. And then what you can do, like I've just shown you, put that figure into tckpublishing.com and work out the average profit or royalties per book. Now, a couple of things to note. These books are medium content books, which means you do get a free ISBN from KDP. And as I've mentioned, the sales price of these books are higher than the normal black and white low content books you tend to publish on Amazon. which usually sell for about $6.99. These tend to sell for around $9.99, and that's because of the color interior. It does cost more in terms of Amazon fees. Okay, so now let's get on to these all-important keywords. Now, what is a keyword? Well, basically, it's a search term that customers type into the search bar on Amazon. You can see here, it's spot the difference. Now, why are these important? Well, if we know what customers are actually searching for, we can optimize our books using SEO or search engine optimization techniques to let Amazon know what our books are and to give them a better chance of ranking, hopefully high up on that first page of the search results, because that's where most of the sales are going to come from. So if we know these, we can optimize our books and it puts us at an advantage of getting our books ranked. So how do we find these keywords? Well, when you type in a search term into the Amazon search bar, you can see on the left here, Amazon gives us these suggestions. So Amazon is actually telling us what customers are searching for, what they're actually typing into the search bar. Also, customers will tend to click on these suggestions as well. So these are very valuable. And what I'll do is I'll make a note of these and put them into a spreadsheet. Now, I do have a plugin installed called AMZ Suggestion Expander. And what this does is gives us these additional suggestions for search terms on the right here. So again, these are very useful. These will go into a spreadsheet. Now, you may say, fantastic, great. I'll take these keywords, I'll put them into the title of my book, put them into the 7 keyword boxes. My books will rank, I'll make money, bang, go on to the next book. Unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as that because there is one issue, and that is the competition. You see, as we can see here on Amazon, there are lots of other publishers also publishing their books in this same niche. Now, we can get an idea of the competition for free by looking at the number of search results here. Now, I do have a simple rule, and that is I look for search results of 1,000 or less. Now, this is just from my experience. There's no particular science behind it, but I know that if I find books with 1,000 search results or less, I know there's a good chance if I use the right search engine optimization technique, I can get my books ranked on that first page and hopefully, as I say, high up on that first page. Now, I do go for keywords that do have more search results if I'm planning on running an Amazon ads campaign. So you can do the same yourself if you are running these sorts of campaigns, or if you've got traffic from outside sources, and this could come from things like Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, or website that you're running. So you may already have an audience that you can direct to your book on Amazon and make sales that way. But in this case, make it simple, 1,000 search results or less. So what I do is, after I've taken these suggestions, put them into a spreadsheet, I then go and take each suggestion, put it into the search bar on Amazon and see what the number of search results are. And I'll write that down on a spreadsheet. And you can see here, we've got our keyword, we've got the number of Amazon search results, and we've got the number of Google monthly searches per month. I have uploaded this keyword spreadsheet to my Gumroad shop. It is absolutely free of charge. I'll leave the link in description so you can go across there yourself and grab them. Now, when I built up this keyword list, I think there's 84 keywords in total, I found a number of interesting sub-niches. And these were around age, so you can have books targeted at kids and adults, books targeted towards girls and boys, books targeted towards various different events such as Easter, Halloween, Christmas, and also books around animals, dogs, and dinosaurs. There was one that was particularly interesting that I wanted to show you, and it was this one here, Spot the Difference Art and Spot the Difference Art Masterpieces. So if we put that into the search bar on Amazon, we can see that it only has 19 results, which is incredibly low. Are there books being sold? Well, yes, we can see here from the bestsellers rank, this one here, 59,000. 87,000, 151,000. So low competition, books are being sold. So this would be a good one to get into if you're early on it. That's why I suggest subscribing to this channel and hitting that notification bell so that you do get notified when I do create videos like this, so that you can be straight on to niches and keywords like this. Now, next we come on to the KDP Interior, and this is the thing that most people find difficulty creating. Now, most books have 2 images, either on one page or on 2 pages facing each other. So that'd be pages 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, and so on. Now, these images can be photographs or illustrations. They can be color or black and white. Most books I've looked at tend to be color illustrations or photographs. Most books tend to have around 100 to 120 pages, and the complexity of the illustrations depends on your age group that you're targeting. So obviously toddlers, very young children, the images would be very simple. So where can we get these images for our book? Well, first of all, we've got illustrations. Now, you can go to sites like designbundles.net, Envato Elements. The site that I use quite often is Creative Fabrica. And here you can see I've found an artist that has created all these different packs or groups of illustrations on a particular theme. Now, the advantage of these, I clicked on one, which was the hair salon illustration, was that these were available to download as vectors, which means you could take one image, just copy it, and then you could easily remove elements from one illustration and so create differences between the 2 images. Now, you could also get these sorts of images made on sites like Fiverr and Upwork if you wanted more bespoke original images, but obviously you would have to pay a bit more for those. Now, the next type of image are the photographs. Now, the important thing about photographs is that you want to be aware of things like copyright. So really, you want royalty-free photographs. And there are quite a number of sites where you can find these. Common ones are Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash. Now, the issue is, as I've said, you've got to make sure these are royalty-free. Now, although these sites are supposedly royalty-free sites, you do have to check each image you use. And I suggest doing this by doing a Google reverse image search. And what you're looking for is whether this image appears on any of the big stock photo websites like Big Stock Photo or Shutterstock. If it does, then just forget the image, leave it alone. There's plenty of images out there and it's not worth getting stressed or trying to work out ways that you can use this particular image. Now, there is one site I want to tell you about, and it's this one here at metmuseum.org. And it's obviously the Met Museum, and they have all these images, and many of them, if not most of them, are in the public domain. So remember that sub niche I showed you earlier? The Spot the Difference art masterpieces? Well, this would be a good site for resources for images in those types of books. And when you click on an image, you'll see below here, it will tell you if it's in the public domain. Even if it says that, I would be 100% and put it through the Google reverse image search that I've just told you about. Now, if you'd like me to do a video where I show you how to take an illustration or a photograph and create those subtle differences so you can create these spot the difference images and how to make sure they're optimal for your book, then let me know in the comments below and I can do a video on that and look at both vector images and raster images like those photographs that we've just looked at. Now, if you are new to this whole KDP publishing business, and I've inspired you to create some books, but you've not yet created any, then what I'd suggest doing is starting on my book tutorials playlist here. This runs you through all the steps of creating and publishing books on Amazon. Thank you very much for your time. It is very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, goodbye.